Well, it's that time of the year where young educators are really excited and seasoned educators are starting to get a bit anxious. At the same time, parents and guardians are dancing down the aisles as they are getting material for their students to be successful in the classroom. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you a couple things that will allow you to be successful with your drumming journey this upcoming school year. What's going on, everybody? Nick Costa here, and in this video I'm going to show you a few things that you will need to be successful with your drum journey this school year. Now, maybe you or that drummer in your life finally got to the age where they can start studying an instrument in the classroom, or you've been taking lessons for a while now and you're starting to realize that drumming is something you're extremely passionate about. This video should help you make sure that you look for the things that you really need and avoid the things that aren't quite necessary. Now, before we dive into this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification. That way you're notified of any additional content that I upload to the channel. Now, full disclosure here, although I am an educator in the public school system, my background is in drum set. Yes, it is part of the percussion family. However, it is completely different than marching percussion or classical percussion. Just like how a saxophone and a clarinet are different instruments, although they're woodwinds, trumpet and trombone are different instruments, even though they're brass, and a violin and a cello are different instruments, although they're all part of the string family. So now that all of that is out of the way, let's talk about that first item, drumsticks. Because unless you're studying hand percussion, you're gonna need something to hit drums with. And if we're looking at this from a drum set perspective, or your traditional band classroom, it has nothing to do with the style of music that you're playing, it has everything to do with the size of your hand. So if you hear those educators telling your drum set player that they need a smaller stick to play jazz compared to a larger stick for rock, it's not the case here. Again, it's all about the size of your hand. So if you have a smaller hand, think about starting out with a 5A stick. This will allow you to hold that stick comfortably so you're not over gripping it because it's too small or it feels like it's too big in your hand. If you have a larger hand, go up to a 5B. That will allow you to make sure, again, that you're not over gripping the stick, because when it comes to playing, you want to be as relaxed as possible and have no tension. Now, for me, my go-to stick is the Vic Firth F1. The reason why this is my go-to stick is because it's a little bit smaller than a 5B, a little bit larger than a 5A, and because it has a short taper, it has a lot of throw weight, meaning towards the front of the stick. Finally, since this has a round tip, I can get really good cymbal definition. So if I am playing rock or jazz, or maybe a musical theater gig, I can use this stick and cover everything. Now, the really odd thing about sticks is that to identify them based off of the diameter of the stick, it kind of doesn't make any sense. Case in point, if we went from the thinnest stick to the biggest stick, you have a 7A, a 5A, a 5B, and a 2B. And depending on the brand that you are buying, sometimes a 5A from one brand will be a little bit different than a 5A from another brand. So if you are just taking drum lessons through your school system, or you're geared a little bit more towards drum set, start out with a 5A if you have a smaller hand, go up to a 5B if you have a larger hand. Those are always the good starting point to make sure you're not over gripping your stick while you play. Let's talk about the second thing, a practice pad. Like, say, the ProLogic's Method practice pad. Now, we're one of the few instruments that really focuses on having one of these. And although we don't have professional practice pad players, and we don't have drummers saying, hey, I can't play this gig because I forgot my practice pad, these are pretty beneficial because of the fact that it will allow you to work on some new things that you are studying, maybe hashing out new ideas, sticking patterns, or technique fundamentals, which will allow you to practice anytime, anywhere. Full disclosure, anything that you do work on with a practice pad, it's highly recommended that you bring it over to whatever drum you are playing, like a snare drum or a drum set. That way the brain can develop the neurological pathways and be able to process everything correctly due to volume, feel, touch, everything else. Now, why do I have a Method pad in front of me? Well, because it's two-sided, which is pretty great. The green side is your normal rubber, so you're going to get that traditional rebound off of a practice pad. And the black side is a recycled vortex, which is a bit denser. This side is supposed to be a bit closer to how it feels playing on marching percussion. So if you are somebody involved in your school program and they require you to do a gamut of things like classical, drum set, and marching, this practice pad allows you to have surfaces for all of them. The other really cool thing is that this comes in two sizes. So the one that I have right here is 10 3/4 inches, but they also make a 6-inch diameter mini version. That's the one that I bring to my classrooms because I can fit it in my backpack and take it anywhere and not worry about something being really bulky or heavy in my backpack. Also, the ProLogix Method pads are pretty affordable, so you're not breaking the bank on something in case you want to try this out and realize that maybe drumming isn't for you, which is totally okay. So now that we have those two things out of the way, pair of drumsticks and practice pad, the third thing, and in my opinion the most crucial thing on this list, is hearing protection. Not enough educators are focusing on this, and especially drum educators. Regardless of the style that you are into, playing music can be really loud. Playing the drums most definitely is going to be loud. Combining this with the fact that we want everybody to be able to play drums as long as possible, these are your most crucial instrument that you have, and you need to make sure that you protect them. Now, I myself have multiple different types of hearing protection, like custom molded in-ear monitors, and because I got them, I also got a set of custom molded earplugs. I also carry a set of generic earplugs in my backpack at all times, as well as in my car, just in case if I forget anything. Now, in regards to hearing protection, there are a few price points that you have to consider. There are also various decibel reductions, or the amount of volume that gets reduced with your hearing protection. Now, when it comes to drums, ideally you're going to want to have a decibel reduction of at least 20 to 25 decibels. So if you go to any pharmacy or even a hardware store, you will notice the hearing protection has two different options. The one is the rubber tip that has 3 different tiers on it. That has a lower reduction, maybe around 20 to 25 decibels. Then you have foam earplugs, where you take the end and roll it between your fingers so it thins it out, stick it in your ear canal, and then it expands. Those types of earplugs, you get a reduction of about 30 to 33 decibels. Now, if you are looking for something with a decibel reduction of around 20 to 25 decibels, the earplugs I would recommend, regardless of how ridiculous the name is, are the Eargasm earplugs. Now, these would be generic silicone earplugs, so they have those 3 different tiers that get wider as they get further out of the ear canal, and they provide a reduction of 21 decibels. The reason why I recommend these over other brands is because I've tested them before and they do last a really long time, but the main reason why is because they come with a waterproof carrying case that's pretty small in size. So you never have to worry about losing them in your backpack or just throwing them in a bag somewhere. And it's really easy to grab that, put it in your pocket, and go. Now, if you've used generic earplugs and you want to step up your game a bit regarding mid-level price point of earplugs, then I would recommend the Soundbrenner Minuendo earplugs. And the reason why I recommend these for your mid-level hearing protection over others is because they have a way to adjust the reduction of them. With the stepless lever installed on these earplugs, you can adjust the reduction from 7 decibels all the way up to 25 decibels. So if you are somebody in a rehearsal who may need 25 decibel reductions as the band is playing, but that type of reduction makes it a bit difficult to hear people talking as you're going over rehearsal notes, you can easily adjust the amount of reduction maybe down to 7 decibels. That way it makes it a bit easier to hear. Then you don't have to worry about taking the earplugs out and putting them back in as you're starting and stopping playing. Now, another really cool feature with the Minuendo is that there are magnets on either end, so you can connect them so you don't lose one by mistake. Now, when you purchase Minuendos, you get the earplugs, a carrying case, a cleaning brush, as well as a leash to connect the earplugs if you want to take them out and hang them around your neck. And finally, a few different types of tips, ranging from single, double, and triple tiered silicone, as well as foam. These earplugs are also designed in a way that you can wear them underneath earmuffs or over the ear headphones. So if you need to listen to music as well, you can do that. Now, the Minuendo earplugs are usually priced at $169, but at the time of making this video, there is a back to school / summer sale on Soundbrenner's website, and they're currently $132. Now, if you've been playing drums for a while, or you know that this is going to be something you're going to be pursuing as maybe a career, or you're going to be playing drums for a very long time, you're going to want to look into investing in getting some custom molded earplugs. Those types of earplugs are taking a mold of your actual ear to make sure that it has the best seal possible. And custom molded earplugs do come with a few different filters, so you can adjust the decibel reduction depending on the situation. Now, I have a set of custom molded in-ear monitors from Ultimate Ears, and they're the ones who made my custom molded earplugs as well, which are what I use on a daily basis. I have the 25 decibel reduction filter in those earplugs because I want the maximum. Fair warning, however, custom molded earplugs can get expensive if you have to pay for the impressions as well as the earplugs. Now, speaking of being able to protect your hearing and listen to music, maybe a recording at the same time, that brings me to the next type of hearing protection, which is a set of the Vic Firth sound isolation headphones. The ones in my hand are the newest wired model, which provide a bit more bass response and have a more natural tone than the original version. So if you need to practice along to a recording, which I highly recommend everybody does, this will allow you to hear whatever you're listening to, as well as protect your hearing at the same time. Now, recently, Vic Firth released a Bluetooth wireless option. So for a bit more money, if you don't want to have to deal with a wire like I do here, you can get that wireless set, connect to whatever device you're trying to listen to via Bluetooth, and you're good to go. Now, the final type of hearing protection, if you are really serious about playing and you're passionate, trying to make this into a profession, that is a set of custom molded in-ear monitors. Now, the set that I have are the Ultimate Ears UE18s. These are monitors that I got back in 2011, right when I graduated from grad school. And as you are diving into the performance realm, you'll start to realize that more and more gigs are requiring you to have these. It can be as simple as your local cover band bar gig or playing a giant stadium arena. Now, with the Ultimate Ears UE18s, I went with these because, again, I was looking into making this into a profession, and I only wanted to buy these once. These were made with impressions of my ears to make sure that they are the perfect fit. Now, there are plenty of in-ear monitor companies out there, and the reason why I recommend Ultimate Ears and went with them is because of their customer service. Once again, I purchased these back in 2011. So at the time of making this video in 2023, they're 12 years old. And if I ran into any issues, like the cables going bad, or if I discovered any type of distortion in one of those ears, I could reach out to them and get it taken care of. Now, recently I spent the money and got the new IPX connection, which is what they use on all of their in-ears now. So I don't have to worry about my cables failing on me like the older connections did. And this technology is corrosive resistant, so I don't have to worry about it falling apart from me sweating while I'm playing. Now, custom molded in-ear monitors do come in a few different configurations. The ones that I have are a 25 decibel reduction, and I opted not to have that filter on the back, which would allow me to adjust that reduction to make it sound as if I don't have in-ear monitors in, because to me, once again, protecting my hearing is top priority. And since I've always practiced with hearing protection, it doesn't really throw me off that much. So you have a few different hearing protection options to choose from. Just one thing to keep in mind, although hearing protection can sound like it's expensive, that investment is worth its weight in gold to make sure that you don't damage your ears, and hearing aids cost a whole lot more. All right, so the next thing and the fourth thing on this list is a stick bag. There are plenty of options regarding stick bags to choose from. They come in different sizes, different colors, everything else. The one that I'm recommending for you is this Vic Firth bag that I have right here. The reason why I'm recommending this one is because it's a very good size. So if you are doing things like classical percussion for your concert band, marching percussion, jazz band, you name it, you have plenty of room in here for all of the different types of sticks and mallets that you might need. Additionally, there's a big pocket on the outside which allows you to have maybe some extra shakers, maybe a cable extension if you have in-ear monitors. You can also put your earplugs in here. Cell phone, wallet, whatever else can go in that front pouch, and you know you're not gonna lose it. There's also an additional pocket on the front here, So if you don't have your bag stuffed as much as I do, you have enough space in here to put maybe some handouts, paperwork, exercise sheets, anything like that, so that way you have it with you at all times. Finally, my favorite part about this bag, besides the strap, is the backside pocket that's large enough that you can fit a tablet device in. Now, when I'm playing gigs, specifically anything in the theater, I put all of my books on my iPad. Makes it a whole lot easier to annotate and turn pages while you're playing. So I can grab this stick bag, put my iPad inside of it, have my in-ear monitors on the front, and I have everything that I need with this bag as long as my gear is already at the venue. Now, this bag is the one that I use for any of my musical theater gigs or any clinics or workshops where I have to discuss various types of percussion, drum set, marching, classical. So I have a lot of stuff inside of it. Now, inside this bag, I have all of the sticks that I use, which are just a bunch of F1s, as well as some various sticks and mallets, like the Vic Firth Root X's or the Steve Smith Signature Roots. I have some symphonic suspended cymbal mallets, some generic timpani mallets from Vic Firth, brushes. I even have a set of Ralph Hardiman marching sticks if I have to do any marching clinics. And then I have a bunch of different size sticks on this side. So if my students are feeling like they're over gripping or feel like the stick is uncomfortable, it will allow them to try some different size sticks so we can determine which one would best fit their needs, or at least point them in the right direction so they're not spending a ton of money on sticks they can't use. Now, that fifth thing on the list is a camera or recording device. This is crucial to your development as a drummer or that drummer in your life, not only because this will allow you or them to record themselves to send to their teachers, whether that is their band director or private instructor, it also allows them to take a step back and watch everything out of the element. This helps with identifying some things that you're doing well or things that need to be improved upon, like say posture or technique, to make sure that you don't develop bad habits and practice efficiently. Now, everybody for the most part has a smartphone in their pocket, and this will get the job done. If you are looking to make that investment, however, I recommend the GoPro Hero Black Series because it's very compact and the sound isn't that bad. GoPro is always doing promotions and sales on their products, so just keep an eye on their website and you might be able to get something for a reasonable price. Now, another alternative if the GoPro is too expensive is the Zoom Q2N 4K device. Now, I'm not talking about the video conferencing app that everybody was using during the pandemic. This Zoom company makes handheld field recording devices for both audio and video, some of which are geared towards musicians. Now, the Q2N 4K is a bit cheaper than the GoPro Hero Black Series cameras. So not only are you going to get similar video quality, it has a built-in stereo microphone set inside of it as well. So you're gonna get a bit better audio as well. Let's say your band is playing a gig. You can put this camera up and capture everything. Or if you're practicing, it's gonna sound and look pretty decent. And the Q2N 4K is pretty compact, so you don't have to worry about carrying around a bunch of audio and video equipment that's just gonna weigh you down. Now, the final thing that I want to recommend isn't really something that you need, but is something that you might wanna have in your collection. Let's say it's an honorable mention. It's the big fat snare drum. The one that I have here is the Steve's Donut version, so it's cut out in the middle, mainly because I just like the way that this feels over the traditional big fat snare drum. But having one of these allows you to change the sound of your snare drum in an instant. So if you are walking into a situation where the drums are provided for you, like the classroom or a gig, and the way that the snare drum is tuned might not be the sound that you're going for. Simply put this on top of the drum and you are going to get something that is muffled and fatter sounding. So if you are in a musical theater situation and the majority of the show you need that bright sounding snare drum, but then you have a couple ballads or slower songs where you need something bigger, fatter sounding, lower in pitch, you can just throw this on top of the drum. You don't have to bring another one with you. Finally, since this doesn't have adhesive on it, like say a moon gel or tape, no residue is going to be left on that batter head. Now, although this isn't a necessity to make you successful this upcoming school year, it can help you get a few different sounds without breaking the bank like buying another snare drum. So those are the items that will allow you to be successful this upcoming school year. If you have any questions regarding any of them, feel free to leave it in the comment section below, and I'll be more than happy to help out in any way that I can. Also, if you're interested in getting any of this stuff, I put affiliate links in the description below to make it a little bit easier for you to purchase. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up. That way it makes it a little bit easier for others to find it. And that is it. Thank you so much for checking out this video on drum items that you will need to be successful this school year. And until next time, see you later.